So we are live. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Another Friday, and today's date is the 3rd of May 2024. By the way, this year is almost getting insulted because next month by where you owe somebody around June, so yeah, I want to welcome my guest, and in a minute I'm also expecting one more guest to join us. That's Dr. Fashakin. Meanwhile, I have the pleasure of welcoming Alàgbà Amotekun to the show, Ọ̀túnba Eric Ayoola to the show, Arákùnrin Wúrà Fàdákà. That's a fantastic name. Somebody asked me, say, Wúrà Fàdákà. Wúrà Fàdákà, they are a combination of, is it the same thing anyway? But let me start by asking us to introduce each other to our viewers. And before then, I want to see this opportunity to ask whoever that sign on, that's watching this program, to please multiply it by liking the show, love it, help us share. The more share, the better. Is a large number of people doing show, maybe around this time. So the more people that have opportunity to watch, the better for us. Okay. Now, again, it's my pleasure welcoming my guest tonight. Let me start with Alàgbà Amotekun to introduce himself to our viewers. Amotekun, can you unmute, please?
Orúkọ tèmi ni Sam Ọláolú Adémóyè, ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí, engineer ni mí. Apart from that, mo máa like láti pera mi ní citizen Yorùbá nation.
Thank you very much. Ọ̀túnba.
Ẹ kálẹ́ sà, ẹ kálẹ́ gbogbo ará lé o, àti ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń wò wá jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè UK yìí àti far and beyond. Orúkọ tèmi ni Ọ̀túnba Eric Ọláyínká Ayoola. Ọ̀ṣun State ni bàbá mi ti wá. Èmi náà dẹ̀ jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tí ó gbádùn Yorùbá gan gidi. London ni mo wà, and mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú Bromley Council. Ìwé àti data ni specialty mi. So head of service ni mi pẹ̀lú Bromley Council. And bí wọ́n ṣe sọ ní introduction tí wọ́n fi yíká, I was the inaugural secretary of Afenifere Renewal Group. Ọdún 2009 ní adágbẹ̀yìn sílẹ̀ ní UK tá a ṣe first meeting wa ní Eko restaurant ní London. Mo dẹ̀ ṣe akọ̀wé ẹgbẹ́ fún about 11 years kí n tó fi ipò yẹn sílẹ̀. So no video láti wà níbí. Ẹ ṣé gan.
Thank you very much, and I'm very happy that the disclaimer has been taken, because there's maybe some a little bit of mistake in the description of the show. So you heard it from the horse's mouth. Ọ̀túnba Eric Ayoola was a former Secretary General of Afenifere. Let me welcome Dr. General Fashakin. Yes, I've been with you in a minute. So then the next person I will call is Arákùnrin from Seyi. Can you please introduce yourself, please?
Ẹ kálẹ́ Ọ̀túnba, ẹ kálẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará Libya tí ń wò wá ní jákèjádò gbogbo àgbáyé. Orúkọ tèmi ni Seyi Ọláyọdé, tí a mọ̀ sí Seyi, Arákùnrin Seyi Wúrà Fàdákà. Orílẹ̀-èdè France ni àwa ń gbé. Sociologist ni, ṣùgbọ́n mo tún jẹ́ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àwọn olùkọ́ ní àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ university ní high school gbogbo ẹ̀. So olùkọ́ lè mi, ọmọ Yorùbá pọ́nbélé ni mí. Ẹ ṣé gan.
Let me welcome our madam, our mama, grandma, everything, ma, our lawyer in house. Dr. Jennifer Fashakin, you're welcome to the show.
Uh,
You're just give us a just small introduction.
all right, thank you. Are we running in Yoruba or English?
Both, I mean, the way it is. In fact, I'm already overwhelmed because my guests are already started throwing me not tantrum. They just started speaking Yoruba. And who am I to say not to speak Yoruba? Please, any language. For those
Okay.
who
I
in
greet.
Russian, yeah.
I greet you, Baba Otumba. Thank you for inviting me, and I want to greet all the co-guests. Starting from my brother Amotekun Otogun Odun. Where have you been?
Ẹ kújọ́ mẹ́ta, ṣàlàáfíà lẹ wà.
And arákùnrin Seyi wúrà fàdákà mi rò pé mi àti yín ti meet, but it's nice to meet you here.
ẹ̀yin lẹ mọ̀ mi ní wọ̀nyí àwọn àbágà là máa ń jó sí tiwa.
Okay, ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́. And last but not the least is what will I call you, Otumba? A friend, a family member, a long time acquaintance, Otumba Eric Ayoola.
All of the above, ma.
All of the above. Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́, Madam Nkosa.
Hello. Ẹ ṣé gan, ma.
Ogún ọdún. So generally, I greet everybody and all our watchers from home, wherever you're watching from. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Janet. Again, I want to ask of people who are watching this program to do us a favor. Please help us share, like, love, and remember to click the notification button. For me, it's always my pleasure. The joy I derive here is having opportunity or to be honored to be in company of. For me, these are celebrities. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I love these people, and I have no doubt in my mind that if they don't like me, they probably will tell I won't riot. So I want to appreciate all of you. I want to appreciate your presence. I want to thank you very much. The nature of my show is very simple. I don't put pressure in any form or shape. I accept anything and everybody says as long as we within the law. So for me, there are two things that concern me as I live. I don't know at 77. I don't know how many more years, but I hope and pray that it will stay longer. So the two area that concerns me as I speak now is me as a Yoruba person that now join a group of people that believe if we sit down and advise or on a round table with Nigeria and say things are becoming tougher and difficult, can we explore? Can we try? Ṣàlẹ̀ tún yẹ kíní ìwò tẹ́rù bá wúwo yẹn máa ń tún dì ní. So, and luckily for all of us here, we have that right to say how we feel about our relationship. We are with ọmọ wa ni o, with ìyàwó wa ni o, with ọ̀rẹ́ wa ni o. We can always review our relationship. And that's why I believe that I think it's high time we start talking about how do we move Nigeria forward. Is it going to be better if we break it into pieces? Not anything bad. So, having said this, that's one of my. The other concern is as long as I live, until when we get what we want, I will remain in Nigeria. Let me switch off the. I'm sorry about this. I will just 1 second. Sorry. We are still Nigerians, no matter what. So inú kòkò dúdú ni ẹ̀kọ́ funfun ti ń jáde. I'm sorry fáwọn tó ń bá gbọ́ Yorùbá because so I want us to relax. I want us to just approach tonight's meeting. I call it a meeting or getting together. As usual, let us speak out how we feel about issues. And I want to start by talking about matters arising, things are going on, current issues in Nigeria, and then we'll end up talking about updates about Nigeria. Yoruba nation that we want to extract from Nigeria as it is. Of course, We're all entitled to our opinions. Now, let me start with the ladies. I mean, with the lady first. As it is, these are regular questions I ask. We are still in Nigeria. The pressure some of us have to deal with, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí pé àwọn tó ń bèrè àtijẹ àti mu àwọn èèyàn wa tán wà ní Nàìjíríà. We still take responsibility. We still try to help them. And I have no doubt in my mind that no matter how poor you are, wọ́n tẹ̀lé máa mọ̀ pé mortgage ní ìlú òyìnbó, Canada ló wà ní Germany ni, is a lot. It's a responsibility that we need to meet. But despite that, they still want to be supported, and we are doing that. Let's start by saying, how much pain do any of us here get in terms of pressure from home? Dr. Fashakin, there's something to do with economy. Are you one of the luckiest person? You don't get any calls. Do you get that kind of call from home?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we always get that, even if the economy is good. People believe those who are in the diaspora that they are well off and they want a portion of what they have. When people will say Egbawa, sometimes it's not out of or anything. It is just that it makes your own robust. I mean, that has been from time immemorial. But ó kàn wá jẹ́ pé bó ṣe wá rí nísìnyí tó wá increase gan, àwọn téèyàn ò lérò pé ó lè máa tọrọ owó, àwọn ni wọ́n ń tọrọ owó nsìn, ìyẹn ló dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ kó máa hurt èèyàn pé I know this person, ẹni tó máa ń carry ara ẹ̀ with dignity ni, to now come down to this level, tó wá sọ pé kán wá fún òun lówó, then you know that things have really deteriorated back home. Economically right now, things are not right with Nigeria. Things are not right. And it didn't start with this regime. It started with the regime of Baba Fulani. And we wanted that, and way before that, ni wọ́n ti dá gbogbo nǹkan rú. Ẹ bá wo lọ sẹ́yìn àwọn ológun wọ̀nyẹn, àwọn tó ń pera wọn ní military rulers wọ̀nyẹn, àwọn náà ti bà nǹkan jẹ́. Ìgbà tán tó wá gbé onímilitary tó tún gbágbádá wọ̀, ó ti ẹ̀ kúkú wá bàjẹ́ pátápátá ni. So by the time tá a fi máa dé regime tá a wà yìí, nǹkan ti bàjẹ́ kọjá, be careful. And I mean, like I said, we all get that kind of call.
Thank you. Alàgbà Amotekun, like another thing, not long ago, 2 or 3 days, I mean, just even yesterday, there was a local government election in the UK. The result is out there for people to see. I think the one that is not out yet is the mayoral election, which some people are waiting to see whether incumbent will be returned or not. Local governments anywhere in the whole world, these most successful countries in the world, they always start from bottom up. But the way things are done in most African countries is top down, and that has always been a problem. Kí ló bí náà yín pẹ̀lú local government arrangement wa Nigeria?
More like ibi tẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ dé when you mentioned about Africa. For probably about 5-6 years, Mantra has answered a question on why is Africa still poor? So Taban sọ wípé wọ́n ṣe báyìí ní developed country. I promise you, we are an endowed continent. The problem is not just external, it is internal as well. So I need that to focus lórí kí ni nǹkan táwa náà ń ṣe. So fi jẹ́ pé ní lọ síwájú. This thing we call democracy, I do understand it. I choose that and refuse to that understanding. And what the leaders won't refuse to educate wa. This is our right. And without education, unfortunately, oppression will reign. So situations are wide. Thinking about Yoruba nation. One of the very first things to our agenda in terms of Yoruba nation is first to educate our people. You have the right. Olórúkọ, ìyá ló bí ẹ, ẹ̀dá ọmọ ènìyàn ni ẹ́, ẹ̀dá Ọlọ́run ni ẹ́. Adẹ́dá tó dá ẹni báyìí ló dá ẹni báyìí. So the whole agenda should be to turn Yoruba land, if we cannot succeed with Nigeria, into a land of opportunity, and then carry on with the ideology which means, or which translates to turning the son of body into the son of somebody. So, iṣẹ́ tá fẹ́ ṣe in terms of ká túnra wa rí, ká wà reborn again, whether in the capacity of Nigeria or the capacity of Yoruba nation, is to find a way to realize that the democratic system is the best system that is dealt with at the moment. Yeah. But while we still have people who believe they are better and not able to rationalize their religion into can create the situation to then we will continue to have the problem, and the whole of the continent of Africa, especially will continue to be seen as a failed continent.
Okay.
So it's within all of us to decide if we want to achieve this goal. So if you see you are
thank you. Hala Otuba, you have occupied a very enviable position in the UK, and I remember, bless the memory of my bosom friend. I know him since 1960 something. He passed on. Adejumo.
Right.
You work together with him. Let me ask you, only behind every successful, there's always something behind. There's always something that is a motto. There's always something that motivates. Successful countries all over the world is all about rule of law. I will have passed this question to my my learned mother, this sister, friend. But I want to ask you, deliberately, I want to ask you, you are for many years, for over more than 11 years, the Secretary General of the Afenifere UK group. As we speak, I want to limit my question to Nigeria as we speak. I will go to the largest part of Yoruba self-determination project. We're going to get there, definitely. Now, when you look at Nigeria as we speak, rule of law, 1 to 10, how will you say rule of law in Nigeria? Is it working or is not working?
Actually, King menu kan ní ṣókí nípa election tí a ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tán lánàá yìí. Ó bá nǹkan question tẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni. So àná mo ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ní election as one of the presiding officers ní Afenifere UK ní Bromley. So láti bí 6 o'clock àárọ̀ títí di 10 alẹ́ la wà ní site. And nǹkan kan tó dẹ̀ máa ń ṣe mí tí n bá ń preside ní election nílùú for so many years back ni wípé bí àwọn èèyàn ṣe máa ń conduct ara wọn, àwọn tó wá sí ibi ìbò tí àwọn tó wá vote, bọ́n ṣe máa ń relate pẹ̀lú àwọn polling clerks tí tó ń bá mi ṣiṣẹ́, báwọn ṣe máa dá wọn lóhùn and so on and so forth. Election tí a dẹ̀ ṣe tán ní àná yìí, for the first time àwọn èèyàn láti fi ID card wọn hàn. Tẹ́lẹ̀ ní UK tó bá dé tó níwọ̀ ní lágbájá báyìí ó dìbò lọ nìyẹn, tó bá níwọ̀ ní tàmẹ̀dì báyìí ó dìbò lọ nìyẹn. Ìgbọ́n tí wọ́n á ń já sí pé kì í ṣe Áfíríkà nìkan ni àwọn ti fẹ́ máa ṣe màgòmágó tó nísìnyí láti fi ID card kan hàn, bó ṣe passport, bó ṣe license and so on. And àwọn èèyàn tó pé tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n máa sí ìlú máa sọ orúkọ tẹ́lẹ̀ máa dìbò. Èmi tí nǹkan tó tẹ̀ ń já mi láyà díẹ̀, anxiety not pride to be anxiety ni pé àwọn máa fẹ́ iṣẹ́ àkẹ́tì, wọ́n fẹ́ revolt ìnáwó pé wọ́n á ṣe kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà kan àwọn kan. Ṣùgbọ́n 99.999% ìtí ò bá mú ìwé identification tábà ní kó máa lọ apàdà sí lálọ́ mú mi wá. ó gbẹ́dẹ̀ lọ ní wọ́rọ́wọ́rọ́ kò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan kan ẹ̀rù ẹ̀dẹ̀ bá mi pé nǹkan kan máa já àpótí ìbò lọ́wọ́ mi nígbà tí ta ṣe tán tí mo ní káwọn polling class máa lọ sí èmi gbé àpótí ìbò sínú ọkọ̀ mi tí mo lọ sí tánà láti deliver kan pé yá mo ṣe iṣẹ́ tèmi tán ẹ̀yin tẹ̀lé máa kà á lókù. So káwá mo mọ nǹkan tí ẹ sọ tí a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ most times a máa ń wò láti perspective pé bóyá àwọn olórí nǹkan nípa àwọn leaders a dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ó kú dẹ̀ káàbọ̀ fún majority of our leaders majority of them ṣùgbọ́n ibo ni àwọn leaders nǹkan ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ bó náà ti wá ṣèlú láàrin ara wa náà ni from the masses from the oil to oil ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti wà kì í ṣe pé bóyá wọ́n kàn já látòkè wọ́n dó lórí àti ìsàlẹ̀ náà náà ti lọ. So gbogbo ìwà pálapàla ìwà kèrèkèrè tó ń wù àti ìsàlẹ̀ náà náà ti lọ. àní kankan tó dà pẹ̀lú ìlú wa ni pé máa ń sọ wọ́n pé kí ni a fẹ́ gan nílùú wa what do Nigerians want máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ question kí la fẹ́ nítorí pé kí ni tí a bá ní kí rule of law wà which is adherence to the law clear guidelines náà ka law there and the practice as lawyer by you so small adherence to the rule of law clear guidelines wọ́n bá ní kí Nàìjíríà pé kí wọ́n máa kàn ṣe èyí tó bá bá wọn lára mu yẹn la máa fẹ́ ṣe èyí tí ò bá bá lára mu máa ní kí la fẹ́ gan ẹ jẹ́ kí n fín lápẹ̀rẹ̀ kan ká sọ wípé ọkọ̀ ẹ̀ ń láti da gbogbo táyàs ẹ̀ láti pé gúnrégé òun láti ní gbà kan láti náà kan tí gómìnà kankan àbí bóyá president bóyá through federal safety corps tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fi òfin ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ gan gidi àwa ẹ̀ náà la máa parípa láyé wọn fi ní wàhálà wọn fi gbà ṣàwọ̀ ká máa fẹ́ pick and choose ìta máa ṣe kò dẹ̀ da fún ìlú because gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ìlú wa ara ìpítà fòfin náà ló wà lára àti olórí ìdá ìṣe president nìkan because Nàìjíríà bá ń ṣe tọ́kọ̀ a máa ná sí Àbújá nìkan irọ́ láti ward councillor to chairman to state government gbogbo àmàṣe àṣọpọ̀ àmàṣe so ní ṣókí tí ìlú bá fẹ́ gbòòrò tó bá fẹ́ ní ìlọsíwájú òfin tí a bá fi sílẹ̀ tó ṣe pé gbogbo àgbà pé òfin yìí òfin dáadáa ni ìfẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn kí n protest nípa òfin nílùú náà nílẹ̀ tó ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí tí mayor London tó gbé sílẹ̀ ìyẹn ni pé ọ̀ tó bá ń wà ọkọ̀ diesel wà máa san £12.50 àwọn èèyàn púpọ̀ láìkẹ̀ náà wọ́n dẹ̀ ń protest against it but òfin ni wọ́n máa fara mọ́ so tí ìlú bá fẹ́ ní ìlọsíwájú tó bá fẹ́ gbòòrò tó bá fẹ́ gbòòrò rule of law yẹn wọ́n láti wà àdẹ̀ tó lẹ̀ kì í ṣe pé ká máa pick and choose kí n dẹ̀ parí ọ̀rọ̀ mi ní wípé ká bá gbélé mọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí pé tó jẹ ẹlọ́tọ̀ wa lógún ìyẹn wípé Yorùbá nation ìwọ tí ó bá ṣe pé bí a nínú Nàìjíríà ò bìkítà fòfin tí a bá dá Yorùbá nation sílẹ̀ lọ́la tọ́lọ́ bá ní bó ṣe tó yìnbọn tó bá dẹ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé wà wá bìkítà fòfin gbà yẹn ó máa wà láwọn kan tó máa ń wà nínú ìtumọ̀ àwọn tó ké ìwọ tí bó bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe nínú bá àti Yorùbá nation náà dá sílẹ̀ bá ṣe bí afẹ́ bá ṣe whatever bó bá ṣe ní Nàìjíríà sí tó ti di bárakú ṣé wàá lè yí padà tó bá ṣe wípé ìlú tiwa ní àdásílẹ̀ tó kò jẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ ẹ ṣe gbọ́n.
arákùnrin Ṣèyí Wúrà Fàdákà we come a long way. We know each other very well, and I know your strength. I know your level of let me start by saying effort you are putting in. Presenting of Ekagba Yoruba Nation, but I insist that while we are still waiting for that, kini kan ni àyàn máa jẹ kó tó tàbí kí èèyàn fi ṣe sínú ọkọ̀ fojú wọ́bẹ̀ tàbí àyàn gba ajá ó dùn èèyàn àkọ́kọ́ tí bá ní kọ́ bá mi complete òwe yẹn láti Americans èèyàn lè má get so we are still in Nigeria. Alàgbà Ṣẹ́gun Ṣèyí, how will you rate the performance of the present government of Nigeria? Why before we move to further wish, our aspiration, and what we desire?
Eshegon Otunba, I appreciate the question. I appreciate it. The present government, see election initially. thank God today there's a new government in place, because I was negative about the election. I didn't want us to go for the election because I knew that it's not a solution to our present problem. By the way, today, if I now want to look at the government can assess one, I think the president is trying his best. They are trying, because Dr. Fashakin saw from the economic point of view, the economy has been is not the present problem is not the one that created it. The problem has been on over the years, so they accumulate more. So ìgbà tí búbú dẹ̀ débẹ̀ yẹn Buhari ó wá scatter gbogbo ẹ̀, ó fọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ kàtàkàtà, ó yọ ó fọ́ tútútú. So nǹkan tó fọ́ tútú dàbí àwo tó fọ́ sílẹ̀. Báwo lẹ ṣe máa ṣàwọ́ gbọ́ ẹ̀ máa ṣe àṣà díẹ̀díẹ̀ ẹ máa fi kíní máa fi lẹ̀ papọ̀. Nǹkan tí President Tinubu ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí nìyẹn. That's what he's doing. That's why he's trying to make, using one economic method, putting his heads together, calling those who can help him out to make sure that at least things go well for the citizenry. I think he's doing his best. I mean, looking at measures, foreign exchange measures, but yeah, attracting investors into the economy, but within a mechanism to actually, even the price control, many things he's trying to do. But my only fear is to buy God willing, 4 years, 8 years. Where do we go from there? This is my fear. Where do we go from there? So, in all honesty, from my own point of view, he's doing his best.
Thank you.
What will happen after is my own fear.
Yeah, we'll get there. Dr. Janet, as you speak, a lot of people will call me and say, what has that got to do with rule of law? When the law of a land is having problem to arrest allegedly or an accused, because as far as I'm concerned, what I know in law is Governor Yaya Bello, as an example, is alleged to have done so and so. It's not been prosecuted yet. What do you think is wrong? Is it one of the arms of government, which is 3 of them? Which one is defective? Which one is not working? Dr. Janet, why we are having? Because many people will say, isn't this funny? Why is it so difficult to arrest somebody you feel is suspect? Can
well, I mean, you said which of the 3 arms of government is defective? They are all defective. You know, Ewo Bobrisky, I think it took them less than 1 month to prosecute him and jail him. So, kí lọ̀bọ̀ ṣe ṣorí tí náà kí ó ṣe? Orí mélòó ni Yaya Bello ní? That it's been so difficult to arrest him. But having said that, well, ṣebí wọ́n ti wà ní court ń sìn, ó dàbí òun gan ló tiẹ̀ tún kọ́kọ́ sùn wọn gan. I think they are now in court. So, bóyá tí George bá ní pé kán handcuff ẹ̀, bóyá sájáde ní court ò tún ní mọ kí náà máa ṣe. I think it's what is going on is so ridiculous. You know, it makes one to wonder whether there is actually a nation called Nigeria. It's really horrible. Then more so, tán tún sọ pé a sitting governor ó tún lọ́wọ́ nínú ẹ̀, òun lo immunity tó yẹ kán ti gbà kúrò lórí ẹ̀, kán ti arrest òun gan for obstructing justice. You know, but what it is what it is. What the country is what the country is. Like I said, hopefully now that they are in court, maybe the 3rd arm of government, bóyá àwọn adé lè ṣe something nípa ẹ̀. You know, that's all I just can say.
Amotekun, same question. What's your take on why is it so difficult to get somebody, the whole world, I mean the whole country knows it's allegedly stolen money? Why what do you think is wrong? Why can't they get him?
Well, everything in life is about foundation, rudimentaries, and all of that. One of the biggest things they saw introducing this question as a rule of law. Do we actually have a law in Nigeria? Because Abajoku, any law is kind of enshrined within the constitution. That constitution is not a law, and the law is not within the constitution because a set of people sat down, wrote a constitution without consulting the people. So everything that some sorts of kind of like monarchy or hegemony or dictatorship. But then we have a cult of people who are actually running it. So with that kind of structure, they need anything to just run in such a way to just progress, whether socially, politically, or economically. So the whole idea of Nigeria being a country is a deception because we don't have that very important foundation of law. Follow. So everything is up there in the air. Any which way, what that be pretty thing. Il est long. Can you science, a calculation or anything? The whole thing is breaking up already. This is why it's very imperative we have the best of people who are actually preparing the grounds for Yoruba nation. Because I mean, I mentioned Yahaya Bello. The likes of Yahaya Bello have been around us for a very long time. This is what the economy of Nigeria is about. When it comes to politics, area boys, low and big. Economically, it's not viable. Diversify economy. There's no way that we need education in such a way in the future we have a way of attracting our youth into areas where we want to develop it. So the whole thing, the question of law, rule of law, sanctity of anything, not that it is a country that has failed, it's failing, and will fail. The best thing is to prepare ourselves to pick up the dust or pick up the components to belong to our Kawa dust day off. Kawa decide are we going to do better going forward? Again, whether it is within the 200 million context or the 60 million context. But the 60 million, we prefer Yoruba nation. But we have to get the Yoruba nation foundation right.
Okay. Otumba, you've been in this, struggle. Well, again, I will ask you, Ibole Bade, Ibole Tibere, Tori Bubu Bade, Ten Famorabi, Ten Gubi, Yoten Shigube. I must concede, I was still raising my own cocoon. I wasn't really very active, even though I know about Yoruba nation, but I did not take full participation. Please help share this show, help us like it, subscribe, and so on and so forth. If you have anything you want us to discuss while we still have about an hour to go, please send it through the comments box. Let us see. I will read it and then I will discuss it quickly. Otumba,
yes, sir.
Do you think Taba, if we leave your Nigeria tomorrow, that the one Yoruba nation Tiwalola, do you think ati arrest Yaya Bello and some other known criminals? I'm sorry to use that word. Whatever. Do you think it will be more easier to go Yoruba nation lawa?
Sherry, Taba ní èrò ọkàn yẹn, mo rí pé akàn tanra wa jẹ ni. Nípa wípé tí a bá ti ní Yorùbá nation ní ọ̀la, gbogbo wàhálà, gbogbo setback, gbogbo corruption, non-adherence to the rule of law, pé gbogbo ẹ̀ máa parẹ́. àkàntànra wa ni ó yẹ ká máa sòótọ́ fúnra wa. So nípa ti Yahaya Bello ìdí tí táwọn ọlọ́pàá tán wá títí kì í ṣe pé wọn ò rí lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ó dí sápò máa sápamọ́ wọ́n dẹ̀ sì máa rí wọ́n sì máa gbé jáde ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀gá náà túmọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe ara problem tó dé wà Nàìjíríà ní ṣe pé High Court Kogi ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tó ti sọ pé tó lọ sí court tó sọ pé kí adájọ́ sọ wípé kí FCC kan fún ní interim injunction. Mo dẹ̀ máa ń sọ nǹkan kan just to put it on the line family tí mo ti wá family adájọ́ ni wọ́n àti ẹ̀gbọ́n dad mi àti àbúrò wọn àti àwọn cousins mi tó ń jẹ́ judges àti even àwọn ìyàwó àwọn uncles tó ń jẹ́ judges wọ́n pọ̀ dáadáa. Ṣùgbọ́n máa ń sọ nǹkan kan wípé ní Nàìjíríà o ibi tí wàhálà ti wà jù nípa war on corruption ni àwọn courts wa àwọn adájọ́ wa. My dear sister Dr. Fashakin wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọ̀gbẹ́ni tí wọ́n tì mọ́lé torí pé ó spray owó. Wọ́n sọ fún ọ̀kan àti àwọn kan tó wà tán tẹ̀ tí tìmọ́lé ṣáájú òun nìkan tiẹ̀ kọ́. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ṣe sọ láàrin ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì mẹ́ta mẹ́rin pápákí wọ́n ti parí iṣẹ́ wọ́n ti ní kan gbèsè wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá ṣe wípé àwọn tí wọ́n ń pè ní very important thieves ni ó wà níwájú adájọ́ Nàìjíríà ni ọ̀nà míì náà máa ń gbé kíní ẹ̀gbà. Àní kò sófin ní Nàìjíríà òfin tí ò sí ni prisons wá fi kún fún àwọn tán tì mọ́lé torí pé wọ́n ṣe lè wọ́n jẹ́ lè wọ́n ṣìgbà ó jí iṣu ó jí adìyẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá kàn pé ẹni tó jẹ́ èèyàn jàǹkànjàǹkàn very important thieves very important colonels àwa ló fi mọ wọn ní lè ṣe nǹkan fún irọ́ kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ selective judgement tí àwọn court wá ń ṣe ló wà lára nǹkan tó ń fa nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tá a fi lè mi ò gbọ́ rí ní ibi kankan nílé ayé tí ṣebí Trump ó sá lọ ó sábọ̀ ó sá sókè ó sá sódò ṣé kò wà níwájú adájọ́ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó wà níwájú adájọ́ náà. Ṣùgbọ́n ní ọ̀rọ̀ tiwa ní Nàìjíríà àwọn judges tó bá ti di ọ̀rọ̀ pé èèyàn jàkúnyàkọ̀ they see no evil hear no evil speak no evil tó bá déwájú wọn tó bá gbẹ́jọ́ tẹ̀ sílẹ̀ wọ defence lawyer fún ẹni tó ń gbé aṣáájú wọn tí FCC lọ́yà gbé tẹ̀ sílẹ̀ adájọ́ á decide pé tí defence lawyer lòun fẹ́ gbọ́ gbogbo àtàdé ká lọ́ọ̀ta lọ sí tó epo ti lọ sí court àbí tó tẹ̀ ti gbọ́ rí èèyàn mọ̀ wípé kò sí bó ṣe rí adájọ́ méjì with the same facts wọ́n máa reason bó ń ṣe decide bí tó ń decide sí nǹkan tó bá dẹ̀ sọ lábẹ́gẹ́ so but àwọn kan dà pé títí wọn kọ́kàn rí pé as far as I'm concerned sense ní gbogbo àwọn tó ti wá síwájú wọn so ìyẹn wà frustrating fún orí àwọn BFCC tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun tó máa gbìyànjú dé iwájú adájọ́ but kí wọ́n á padà sí ìbéèrè tẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ gangan nǹkan tó ń sọ pé àwọn tọrọ tó wáyé pé bá a kàn ṣe rí nìyẹn wípé black and white wàhálà tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pẹ̀tọ́ ìpàdé nínú Nàìjíríà mi ò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o èmi ò dẹ̀ gbà pé Nàìjíríà ti fail àbí is failing àbí kò ṣe gbé jọmọ́ mi gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ò dẹ̀ gbà wípé kò sí nǹkan tó dáa láti inú Nàìjíríà gbogbo apátátà ní around the table yìí product Nàìjíríà ni wá education àti àníkòdàkòdà ní èèyàn bí èmi báyìí àbí my dear brother Wura àbí my dear sister Fashakin àbí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tó ń sọ lórí ètò yìí ibẹ̀ náà láti wà náà University of Ibadan Ìbàdàn Grammar School Ìbàdàn Polytechnic University of Ibadan bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ka ìwé tèmi ní ẹ̀kí tó tún lọ sí university níbí mi ò dẹ̀ lórí pé ibìkan kan wà tí màá dé dúró tó máa ní kó sọ̀rọ̀ tí mi ò ní lè sọ òyìnbó tó máa dán mẹ́rin láti Nàìjíríà náà ẹ̀dẹ̀ ni ó ti wá so kì í ṣe pé nǹkan dà a lè pọ̀ tó bá ṣe pọ̀ tó as a black nation ká má ní ìlọsíwájú jù lè but ara wa náà ni attitude yẹn kọ́ báyìí tí a bá gbé lọ sínú Odùduwà Republic tọ́lọ̀ bá ní bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn èmi wàá mọ̀ bóyá tí Odùduwà Republic bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́nìí ọ̀la mindset wa máa yàtọ̀ ní òró bẹ́ẹ̀ o máa ń sọ nǹkan kan even gbà tí mo sì jẹ́ secretary Afenifere renewal group tó ṣe wípé tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ bá àwọn èèyàn kan máa rí pa ọ̀gbẹ́ni ó yẹ kó máa sọ báyìí mo ní ẹ jẹ́ ká máa sòótọ́ fúnra wa nítorí kíni àti ẹ̀ ní láti dúró títí dìgbà tá a bá ní Yorùbá nation láti túlẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe àtọ̀ bàbá wa the late stage Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ kò dúró dìgbà tí Odùduwà wà Republic wà kó tó tú Western region ṣe fún 7 years ni bàbá fi wà as premier. History me that 1952 to 1959.
Yeah.
Àti láyé ń gbà yan ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó wà ní premier, but of course àdàgbà bá wọn láyé UPN àti gbogbo ẹ̀. Wọ́n dúró náà pé kí a dá Yorùbá nation sílẹ̀ kan tó, so a ní láti dúró. Mi dẹ̀ ní ká má agitate for Yorùbá nation. It is a right anyway. It's a right of any group of people. Ká má ṣe sọ population of millions. It is. Kò sẹ́yìn kankan tó lè sọ pé irọ́ ẹ má jà, but tá bá ṣe pà ń dúró dìgbà yẹn ká tó tú Ifẹ̀ ṣe, Iléṣà ṣe, Ọ̀ṣun state ṣe, Adó Èkìtì ṣe, Abẹ́òkúta ṣe. Ìgbà la fẹ́ dúró dà. So ẹ jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìn ká tiẹ̀ fi hàn àwọn ara wa àtàwọn ọmọ wa tí wà convinced pé tẹ́ bá bá ọmọ kankan sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Yorùbá nation sìn, àwọn youth wa, àwọn tí majority wọn ló máa gbé kí ni máa yẹn sọ. I'm telling you, ìgbà tó ń lọ kó àwọn ọmọ tí misguided youth tó ní kan lọ take over secretariat ní Ìbàdàn, táwọn ọlọ́pàá mú wọn tó ń gba wọn tó ń rí àdá gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn. Ṣé àwọn pé àwọn kan wà, àwa táwa ní UK àti US táwa more politically aware. Àwọn gan gbọ́n pẹ̀ ju àwọn kan tó wà nílé lọ. Mo bá a few youth sọ̀rọ̀, ó ní àwọn tí ẹ mọ̀ kí náà lọ ṣe náà kò tiẹ̀ ràn ibi tó ti máa rí next money àbí tó ti máa rí next kíní kan ló wà ní brain ẹ̀. So láti lè kó àwọn ọmọ yẹn mọ́ra, bọ̀ báwo la ṣe máa ṣe tá a bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí báyìí. A ní láti dúró de Yorùbá nation láti túlẹ̀ wá ṣe. Ẹ ṣe kan.
Thank you. Arákùnrin, again, still on the same Yaya Bello.
Yes, sir.
And still on the same Yaya Bello. And I deliberately asked the question, ní pé ṣé tó bá jẹ́ pé a ti gba Yorùbá nation ni, ṣé irun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Yaya Bello àti tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí Bobrisky yẹn, ṣé kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀?
Ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ dáadáa.
Okay, ẹ ṣe. Arákùnrin, ọmọ náà lọ́dọ̀ yìí là pé ní black. Now that is in France.
Ọmọ náà lọ ní ọtí mo parí ọtí mo dé báyìí. Ẹ ṣe gan. Ṣe rí mo sọ lẹ́nu.
Ẹ get question yẹn arákùnrin.
Mo get it sir. Yaya Bello. Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn sọ kéde kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Wọ́n ní foundation. Mo agree pẹ̀lú Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn. Then 2, rule of law. Because rule of law exists in Nigeria. Bí Ọ̀túnba ṣe sọ, is selective judgment. Yaya Bello will go scot-free. Because there's a president still already. President still wa. Foundation still wa. Okay, governor mélòó ní Nigeria, apart from àtàwọn tí Buhari tó kàn jail nígbà yẹn tó pé ethnicity ló fi jail wọn. Tó fi àwọn Ọ̀nàbànjọ and co. Àwọn Kalu tó jail ẹni jọ mẹ́ta tó ń lọ. Àwọn èdè sọ ló lẹ́wọ̀n. Ṣé wọ́n lo bí àwọn òtún jẹ́? Wọ́n kàn fẹ́ pé VIP prison wọ́n fi wọ́n sí. He's not a senator. Kalu is a senator in the National Assembly. Àwọn Ganduje and co. Tá ń rí dọ́là tó ń kìsàpò. They are all enjoying the money. They are going scot-free. Papa mú Yaya Bello lé nísìn. Wọ́n máa ẹ̀rù gbin ẹ̀díọ̀n. Àgbègbè tó jí. Ó náà kọ́ ní settlement. Ó yá 10% àbí nǹkan. Wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. He's enjoying the billions he has stolen. Gbogbo wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. So Yaya Bello kò plan tó bá òun náà ti mọ̀ pé bí tó máa end sí nìyẹn. Even though I know that the FCC chairman mo yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ may win well, but ibi tó máa end sí náà ni pé ẹ̀ǹkìlẹ̀ kan our judiciary is very weak.
It's hard to interrupt you, sir. The $1 million question here, are you saying to I put Yorùbá nation la once as we speak?
Yes,
let's
sir.
say be hypothetical. So gbogbo rele yo ni ṣẹlẹ̀.
Well, Ọ̀túnba sọ kiri kan lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé it's not going to be magic, but let's digress there pẹ̀lú opinion on there. The thing is that Yorùbá ta jẹ́ as Yorùbá people. Yorùbá máa ń bẹ̀rù lọ́gàn. Àwa la ní Nàìjíríà táwa yìí Yorùbá ló máa ń bẹ̀rù òfin jọ. Yorùbá kan ní wọ́n FLA kan ṣe example oníkálùkù máa lọ sùn ó máa lọ wábẹ̀ kan jókòó sí ni o. Yorùbá máa ń bẹ̀rù. FLA kan ṣe example fún Yorùbá pé ókè o bóyá gómìnà kan jí owó kinní kan ni o gbàm ẹ̀wọ̀n. Máa sọ fún pé ọmọ lágbájá ọmọ kinní kan, but we have a lot of work to do. Socialization yẹn and láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe bí mo agree pẹ̀lú Ọ̀túnba talking to our people, changing the mindset in Nigeria yẹn it will take time. It's going to take time, but but example, example for Yoruba,
are you very sure of this, Abi?
I'm very sure of that. But it might take time. We need to do socialization process. So that means from the church, from our religious body to the families. Everybody, everything, and the followership too. We know that our problem. Our politicians one. They are politicians because I don't like this. I don't like the destiny. Don't like the future. I want the problem. Our politicians were. I want the problem. But Nigeria look down on the Nigeria system. Look down like stringent laws, battle one on ground to get pay on my fault with the judiciary being emboldened. To put a phone in cut one fet way, in buy, and follow. Tomati moon, tomato for where you went bullet, when you mention China. Only
I will agree with you to some extent because you are right. But just to me, I want to do a second organic one to I go Yoruba to our new connection, Yalaya connection, connection work bono, tell me one pay or two very pay. Anyway, that is just a joke by the way. Okay. Dr. Janet, see more or less the last area of law before we move to the YSDM discussion. Bobrisky, can you different learning the way the arms of law catch up so easily with Bobrisky and the same law is having problem with Yaya Bello? Can you unmute here? Unmute, please. Unmute, Araima. Unmute. Yeah.
I don't think there should have been any difference, especially in the eyes of the law. Law respect anybody nílùú ibi tí ó bá gbádùn. But ìlú tí ò bá gbádùn bí irú ibi tá a wà yẹn tó jẹ́ pé ṣe náà máa ń wọwọ́ tayò tí wọ́n ń pè yẹn lófin. Nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ náà nìyẹn. But my question ni pé kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ Bobrisky ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run? Kí lẹ̀ṣẹ̀? Owó ara ẹ̀ ló fi ń forí. Ẹni tó dẹ̀ fò lórí yẹn kò sọ pé owó yẹn depreciate. Àwọn tí ẹni yẹn tún fún lówó yẹn mi rò pọ́n sọ pé àwọn ò lè gba owó yẹn because I don't understand their own interpretation of the constitution vis-a-vis pé wọ́n ń ba náírà jẹ́. Ṣé Bobrisky ló ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ ba náírà jẹ́ ni? Àbí náírà gan ti bàjẹ́ fúnra ẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ tó pẹ́? And irú ìbàjẹ́ wo? So there are a lot of things that sometimes mi ò kì í understand. Nigeria mo ti ṣe law and I was called to the bar there. But èmi ò rò pé irú law tí wọ́n kọ wa ní eléyìí tí wọ́n operate yìí o. Bobrisky náwó lójú agbo. Kán tó bí wa ni wọ́n ti ń fowó fòyàn lórí. Mo grow up láti bá ní. Tówó yẹn bá dẹ̀ pọ̀ tí kan bá ń bá kan lẹ̀ ó máa drop sílẹ̀. Ó máa sorry ẹ má bínú. Ó máa drop sílẹ̀. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ ṣá. In fact, àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí tí a mọ̀ bóyá owó ritual àbówó gidi tán ṣiṣẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa gbé kinní yẹn tá máa pọ̀ sílẹ̀. Then we also saw it during the COVID tí ó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn ò fẹ́ fún èèyàn lówó directly. Wàá jókòó àwọn tó fẹ́ fún ẹ lówó wọ́n á dẹ̀ máa jù sílẹ̀ all around you. Ìyẹn ò tí ì yé mi pé kí ni ìbàjẹ́ náírà nínú ìyẹn? Ṣé ó depreciate ni? Àbí owó tí Bobrisky kó lọ́wọ́ yẹn ṣé wọ́n ti allege pé ń ṣe ló jí ni? So mo ṣáà wo kéèsì yẹn títí kò yé èmi torí mo tún lọ wo constitution tán ní ó gáìdì ẹ̀. Mi ò rírú nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ yẹn náà pé ó ba owó jẹ́ àbó desecrate owó lọ́nà wo ṣó fa báírò sí lójú ni àbó rí ìpù ẹ̀ àbó ṣe. But Nigeria ni Nigeria. If they want to prosecute you for nothing, they will prosecute you for nothing. Kó pa gbogbo èèyàn nílé ayé yìí ṣebí Nàìjíríà yìí náà la wà táwọn Fúlàní ń gbérí tó ń rèpù tó ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ bó ṣe máa arrest wọn. About 3-4 days ago over 20 people ni wọ́n pick dead ní area Kogi. Ṣé àwọn Fúlàní tó lọ síbẹ̀ they were many and yet till now the government have not been able to arrest a single Fulani. So èmi ò rò pé wo Nàìjíríà ò gbádùn o ká má parọ́.
Dr. Janet, the only problem I have there as a student of law is if there's a description of what you can do and what you cannot do in the
Section
Constitution.
21.
And
ṣé wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń ṣe ni question tèmi because èmi grew up bá ní ṣé ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ di ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ni.
Well, that might not be a plausible argument as far as I'm concerned. That's fine. But ìgbà tí ọwọ́ bá ba tó máa fẹ́ fi ṣe sample. Anyway, I think you as a lawyer.
But question me again, dá mi lóhùn. Kí ni irú ṣẹ́rí ti Bobrisky yẹn ní nǹkan tó wà ní section 21 tí Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ń sọ yẹn, ẹ dákun ẹ kà.
Section 21.
Ṣé irú ti Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn yẹn pé èèyàn fowó fòyàn lórí owó yẹn jábọ́ sílẹ̀ ìyẹn ní ẹ̀ṣẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ma.
Ó yẹ kó gbogbo yín tẹ́ wà níbí ló yẹ kán kó ká má parọ́.
Irọ́ dollars làwọn máa ń spread ní UK tí wọ́n lè fẹ́.
Gbogbo yín pátápátá ló yẹ kán kó.
That's a nice one.
Títí dénú church, títí dé mosque, títí dójú agbo. Gbogbo Nàìjíríà ló yẹ kán wrap up kan kó wọn lọ sẹ́wọ̀n o.
Òfin yẹn wà nítòótọ́ ó dẹ̀ flout ẹ̀. So, but
kí ló fi yẹn ti ẹjọ́ kí ló flout nínú ẹ̀ náà ni mò ń béèrè kí ni nǹkan tó flout kí ló flout yẹn. Pé owó ara ẹ̀ fẹ́ fún yàn.
Gbogbo kí tí a ṣe fífún yàn lówó yẹn mo dẹ̀ ń sọ fún yàn kan tó nípa inú òun dùn pé wọ́n mẹ́kọ̀ọ́ òfin yẹn láti stop spraying mo ní òfin yẹn ò lè stop spraying because tó bá nílò àti jẹun kánú tó bá advice ẹ̀ under that section 21 CBN 19 ni wípé tí owó yẹn wọ́n ní to step wọ́n tẹ̀ lo word tí gbìmọ̀ tó draft òfin yẹn wọ́n matching on the Naira, but one spell any MARCH, want to spell any MACTH match. So we meant to draft it. But the salient point, the Naira bar bossile, you are defacing the Naira. Abuse of the currency. So you're gone. So Kata yon shin taba first spray, taba lona jansin, taba first spray. Toba ni apoti timo phone yesune, me flat of here. So yon ma wa no to ma fiche. But nípa tí ọ̀gbẹ́ni tá à ń sọ ẹni pé yes ó flout òfin yẹn tòótọ́ ó nìkan dẹ̀ kọ́ ní first person tó máa tẹ̀ kọ́ mú fòfin yẹn. But
èmi wo fídíò yẹn o ojú kan ló dúró sí tó ti ń tró owó yìí omi ò rí kó.
ó ń bọ́ sílẹ̀ mà ó ń bọ́ sílẹ̀.
bẹ̀tẹ̀ ní tẹ́ni yẹn bá step on it àbí.
tó bá ti jù sílẹ̀ part of the face náà ni tó di owó yẹn sílẹ̀.
That particular section yẹn that's expanding it or make it larger or wider. Is still apart from the action, if the action is taken like you are spraying the money in the first place, obviously you are spraying the money will be coming to the floor and then you step on it or whatever. But then Amotekun, you raise up your hand, you wanted to say something. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Ọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n spray owó yẹn at the end of the day bákan méjì ni. And so lower òun spray. For aláti rántí wípé owó yẹn, the actual item itself, the physical owó, does not belong to the person. Value owó yẹn ló belong to ẹni. So bí ìta bá fẹ́ translate government property ní owó yẹn, you don't have the right láti damage government property, which is the people's property. Now the problem with one novel one kini yẹn ó wà subjective back on and ọ̀rọ̀ fún wọn lẹ́yìn lówó it got worse after Udoji and all of the things tá à ń sọ is because some people don't have foresight. So after foresight wà ní tí àyè wà fún investment you will find a lot of people not spending their money carelessly. One must spend it on investments where people must money yield to higher. So at the end of the day, among knee-jerk reaction, man deal scientific. It is not the people who are spraying the money. It is not about the physical money itself, which is on the wallet, damage it. But it is the control of the institution of government. Economy wa oja. Àwọn èèyàn ò rí ọmọ invest owó sí with financial security. This is why we are wasting money.
Thank
This
you.
is
Yeah.
why today people cannot invest in ventures where people must push the work forward because there's no financial security. So
Thank you.
on no way, tradition wa as Yoruba people, some have some lórúkọ, some have gbòbì síbẹ̀, some gbé oyin síbẹ̀, some gbé iyọ̀ síbẹ̀, some gbé ṣúgà síbẹ̀. Owó náà máa wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Only symbolism.
We have a senior lawyer here, but then again, because of time, because of the other area, maybe next time around we will do solely more of law something. Actually, Alagba Amotekun. Well, I'm going to read some of the comments that is coming in. But before I go there, let me move quickly to another area that is going to be second part of this show. And I want to start with somebody I know that has been in this business more than 11 years. Afenifere is a pressure. How do you want to describe Afenifere? Do you want to say Afenifere is a pressure group, or it's just a social group, or whatever group it is? Of course, Afenifere is Yoruba, social, whatever. Otumba, can you tell us a little bit more about? And I need to say 2 minutes, please, because of time now. 2 minutes.
Okay. Actually, my make any shocky. So, Afenifere Renewal Group. Yeah, ó jáde láti ara Afenifere, which is the initial body. Under the leadership Honorable Wale Osun, the Afenifere Renewal Group wà. Ṣé ló like pé kí àwọn younger people kan do àwọn èèyàn ti dàgbà sí náà láti gbà tí Afenifere Renewal Group ti dá sílẹ̀ kan kúrò nínú ẹgbẹ́ kan dẹ̀ dá ìmíì sílẹ̀. By definition, it's a social, cultural, political pressure group. In a way, so the founding main principle ethos of Afenifere Renewal Group is Yoruba welfare. Kì í ṣe separatism wípé ìyẹn ni ṣe máa láwọn Yorùbá gbọ́n tó pé separatism yẹn ni main kíni wọn, but the main ethos of Afenifere Renewal Group is Yoruba welfare, whether within the Nigerian state or, of course, into a different entity. So welfare Yoruba Neo Jalogunji in Afenifere Renewal Group, and whichever way that can be achieved, whether within Yoruba or if it's going to be outside of Yoruba, Afenifere Renewal Group is all for that. Okay. The follow-up question before I go to the other panels. If there's a referendum tomorrow, will Afenifere will have supported Yoruba nation out of Nigeria? If there's a referendum tomorrow, so caveat, I'm not speaking right now on behalf of Afenifere Renewal Group in that official capacity. But King Consonipa, maybe the general direction or the opinion, when we get any more. Not speaking for ARG as a group, so it's not a formal pronouncement. Yes, majority would support or would vote for a standalone Yoruba nation if there was a referendum tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Arakuni, as you speak, I mean, only Daji kini command better ju the long by me. Tabaro dindi. The offer. Tell us the reason. Let the viewers all over the world hear from you as an active activist. What are the reasons against, if we know that at Igba Yoruba Nation, there are two possible ways to access it. The first one is to negotiate to get referendum. We don't have that. We are now engaging, we are campaigning for it. The second possible route is to get it by force. And we know it's a war we cannot win. That is the truth. We cannot win it. And we should not even try to go into getting Yoruba Nation. And I say it with all authority. And I say that this program I get to some people, to understand. We cannot get Yoruba Nation by force. We cannot get it. So what is now wrong as one of the main campaigners? If Yoruba people are offered restructuring, tell us. Unmute yourself, sir. Arakuni. Unmute yourself.
So, okay, Shane Bamising.
Yes, we can hear
you.
All
right, Thanks for that question. From my own point of view, my own position with regards to restructuring is a no-no. I will tell you why. Why I will tell you is a no-no. For the past years, this one, if I'm not mistaken, they'll be asking for restructuring. And we are still in 2024. We are still singing the song restructuring. So when is restructuring going to come? That I don't know. And now proponents restructuring man discuss, what do we can we make it very clear about restructuring? To me, restructuring is going back to pre-1966. To me, that is what I think we should ask for. Why? Is because Awolowo, Azikiwe, Amadu Bello, they sat down in London, in Confederate 1957, I'm not mistaken, or in Lancaster House. Once a week, structure by Afenifere Kamafe work together. Onekaluku, I'm a governor. Now, 1966, that structure, and 2007, that structure was gone. It was dismantled and scattered into 12 states. Now we have 36 states and Abuja. Now, how are we going to do if we now restructure the country? We're going to go back to regionalism. Shall we continue state one, state system, Then let's agree. Okay, restructure. I'll keep proponent amounts of restructuring. What stopped the 1960s coup? And it already stopped the 1960s coup. Coup 1960s here. Structure will stop it. The journalists will stop it. To buy Diola. Okay, a restructure. What one day one person again can just wake up in the morning and say, fellow Nigerians, because structuring to learn here. So restructuring to me without us or each region having its own standing army. Army federal, but I'm an East army to T1 first upon East of West, North, fellow Nigerians. Commander to any Yoruba lands of fellow Nigerians labor. So it's only without us controlling our own army, controlling our own border. Last year, the very influx of non-Yorubas. Now, we parents been to Stacy. I think I won't be to Moleko. At today, I won't be to Moloni, Yoruba. Population yet budge. Population, I want non-Yoruba, budge. Because we can't control our borders. We can't control. We're in UK, and control and want to and try to control the influx of immigrants into UK. We can't control those coming. And infrastructure in Yoruba is built and bad. Infrastructure here, contain, control, affect our turning. Generator revenue IGR and generator will be don't call up. And we want to but to my money structure that way, I should back on in before 1966 school. I want a full federal government low, you buy percentage federal government. And when you want, you must wash it. You must pay, if you pound.
Okay. Dr. Janet, what's restructuring to you? What do you see? How do you see restructuring? Putting the consideration of Wikwe, we know, and I repeat it, and I want to repeat it, I want to emphasize this. Atigba Yoruba Nation is not going to be a type play. And it's not going to be anything easy. And like I said, there are two main the first one, the most elegant one, would have been a referendum. We don't have that. So either we work to get that into the constitution, which I'm not too sure whether we're going to get it. But as we speak, the only one short and medium time, long time will be Yoruba Nation. But the short time and medium time will be restructuring. When I say that, does not necessarily mean I mean I have my own consideration for different things. But to you as one of the national leaders, as one of the foremost campaigner during Yoruba Nation, what do you think? What do you think restructuring can do? Could it bring anything short and medium time for us? What do you think?
If you will recall, when we started this current agitation in 2019,
I love to use campaign because agitation is very offensive. But anyway, go on.
Agitation is not offensive to me, and I've always said that when you are campaigning and you are not getting result of your campaign, you are bound to be agitated.
But agitation could lead you to some confrontation. That's my take. But that's fine. Go on.
Well, confrontation is part of it. Confrontation doesn't have to be the way Nigeria does their confrontation. We have confrontation going on right now in America over the state of Israel and the Palestinians. Most of the universities right now they are on lockdown because of agitation. So because they have protested, they're not getting result of what they are protesting on. They became agitated and they have to boil over. It's all part of it. It's a all these things.
Their case. But now look by one their case as well.
Okay.
Process you cannot remove one and then keep the other one. But you asking about restructuring, and I was just pointing to Amotekun. Amotekun, you were there in 2019 when we started this agitation. I was part of the people that led the campaign, if you want to call it campaign, that led the campaign to the United Nations and eventually brought people to the Nigerian embassy. And what we were campaigning or what we were crying at that time was restructuring. And I've said that repeatedly. We stopped restructuring when the present vice president made a statement that infuriated people, that said restructuring my foot. It was part of what made us to drop restructuring and say we don't even want restructuring. We want our own nation. To your tent, O Israel. That if he hadn't made that statement at that time, probably we'll still be talking of restructuring. But the way people look at restructuring today is as if you are telling them to drink cyanide, which is not really true. To me, I don't see anything wrong with restructuring. If we keep banging our head against Yoruba nation as an independent nation, and nobody is doing anything, nobody is answering us. You know, we've been saying that now since 2019. What result are we getting? Our land saw the government are just ignoring us, and we are not doing anything to fight the government because we want a peaceful transition. So I think we're going to be here for a very, very long time. But tèmi ni pé tí èèyàn ò bá rí àdán àbí téèyàn ò bá rí kinní kan ó máa ń fi àdán ṣe something.
Àfi òdìdí gbọ́ Yorùbá mọ́ mi.
Àwọn tó gbọ́ Yorùbá nínú ilé ẹjọ́ ẹ bá mi pa òwe yẹn.
Àfòdìdẹ manage.
Àbí tí èèyàn bá ń wá nǹkan kan, èèyàn lè mú nǹkan kan sọ́wọ́ kó fi wá nǹkan tó ń wá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Èmi believe pé with restructuring, what is restructuring anyway? It's a bit devolution of power ni. Tó máa move nǹkan tó yẹ kó jẹ́ sí state tọ́dọ̀ state. So state bíi mẹ́fà tó jẹ́ tiwa, bóyá mẹ́jọ dẹ̀ ni mẹ́fà ni a lè sọ because irú àwọn Kwara yẹn mi mọ̀ bóyá wọ́n gbà pé Yorùbá làwọn. Àwọn kíná tó ti ń pè náà bí àwọn méjì. Ká ní gbogbo wọn gbà. So ká sọ pé bí 8 state kárí àwọn agbára tá a lè rí lò, tá a lè put together as one. Ká wá fi wá fight fún nation tiwa. At least we got something in our hand rather than the state of nothing less now, nothing right now that we can hold on to. Any weapon, any mouth, any àwọn Fúlàní bọ́n ṣe ń pa bí nǹkan kan sí. Even àwọn governor tẹ́ fi síbẹ̀, they can't fight for our battle. Wọ́n lè ṣe nǹkan kan. because I mean téèyàn bá wá sí state wa tó wá ń pààyàn ń bẹ̀ tẹ́ni yẹn dẹ̀ ń lọ freely tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn tí yín tán bá fight back àwọn yẹn lè máa arrest. I've never seen such stupidity in my life mi tiẹ̀ tí ì rírú ẹ̀ rí. So irú nǹkan tá a wà ń sìn tá a bá ní tá a bá ṣe restructuring tá a gbà lára àwọn agbára wọ̀nyẹn, we can then use it now to fight what we need. But right now in the state of having nothing, and we then saw no to restructuring, no to restructuring. Okay, yes to nation. How do we get this nation? Is the question that nobody is answering. How do we move from the present state of nothing, and then we get our nation, and we are not going to fight. We are not going to cause any wahala for Nigeria. How do we just grab our nation and say yes? Maybe you should ask the other people in the house.
Amotekun, we are knit together. We are knit together, and then again, my opinion is well, maybe known to some, may not be known to some. Depends on whom am I talking to, who are my follower or who are not my follower. Restructuring, as far as I'm concerned, judging from what Otumba said and Dr. Guinness, I think they might probably put it in a different context, in a different format. That again, and also we need this arrangement of wanting to get a nation out of a country, as it is our case now. It's not a sprint. Dr. Fashakin Amotekun. It's a long process. I think one of the luckiest countries in the whole world maybe checked within a short period or whatever. They took hand and then got what they want. But as it is, 99% of the time, Nigeria remains to be undivisible, uninsoluble. These are the only grace standing there as we speak, and that's why somebody like me, we continue to talk about it. The only grace, there's nowhere that we have to seal our mouth. We cannot talk. We cannot exercise our right. We cannot come up with the idea of So I'm very happy that I'm rubbing minds with people like you. What's your how restructuring? Particularly, let's stay with restructuring. It is as a temporary arrangement. How they consider restructuring?
All right, Nigeria, over 200 million people. Sabafe really define restructuring. Restructuring is not a set piece. We pay in Lamashi. Restructuring means proclamation, declaration, Restructuring means negotiation. It means we need to come down to the table and talk. All components, console. This is what restructuring means for me. And within that restructuring stands for journalism or dissociation. So restructuring stands for modern society, whether we like it or not. A lot more people are listening to Nkotun Shelley in the nation. And anybody to believe we exclude a set of people or exclusion mawa, then I see plan is a tiwaju. Restructuring is only a call to negotiation. Without negotiation, you have not gotten to the point. So my estimate is this is how far we're going. Now, kini problem wa Igbo àti Yorùbá ò lè bára wọn ṣe. Yorùbá àti Hausa ò lè bára wọn ṣe. Fulani take over Hausa. Fulani terrorize the Igbo. The whole situation is glaring because it is a failed nation. And it's a failed nation saying about patriotic or altruistic, saying about there are a set of people in our demography tó ń suffer. Pé mi wà ní UK, I have a good circumstances and all of that does not make me a patriot. I have to look out for my people. So problem one is a problem where we need to actually decide if it affects ground in Walole. Ibolo state affect me one. And the safest place that go on is cash in country alone. Carry back in country alone. Alone call create Nigeria. Lord God will create. We need to get to that point, can realize the way this is not God's country. This is the country of the British. Let's now make it our own countries by dissociation. Ìyẹn ò mí wípé a ṣì lè bára wa tán. Tábà dé Yorùbá nation, tábà believe pé a pọ̀ tó. Àwọn ọmọ ìyá wa ló wà ń bẹ̀ ní republic. A lè negotiate pẹ̀lú wọn. Kó jẹ́ pé mutual annexation ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀. So we have so many possibilities. But restructuring does not tell us anything. Kilo means? It means we need to come to the table. It's as simple as that.
Thank you very much. I just want to read selective comments here. Because of time, I want to leave the next maybe 10, 15 minutes for anybody that want to call. You can call in. The number is there. +44 7368 465 465 054. You can call in to join in the. Meanwhile, there are a couple of observations here, and one of them that I think is, say, don't forget that Yaya Bello was the one that installed the present governor of Kogi State, so he will surely use everything in his power to protect his political father. I'm not too sure whether that's. I cannot.
That's correct.
Yeah, I don't understand that, because for me, law is law. There's no law is blind. That's why you see the, there shouldn't be any special connection that my father.
There shouldn't be, but there is.
There shouldn't be. So I'm sorry. Okay, so really and honestly, I think for that it's okay. That's an opinion. I think the contributor, I think that is one area that I think needs to talk. Then another thing is under the Nigerian law, EFCC has no legal right to prosecute anybody defacing Naira. The prosecution of such is empowered only by Nigeria Central Bank Act. I don't want to start playing the role of anything. We have a lawyer in the house, but my own understanding is the agencies. It's not like anywhere in the whole world. There are commissions, there are agencies, there are different kind of what other thing that enhances good governance. So if FCC is in charge of anything to do with corruption, as a matter of fact, police
financial crime.
Exactly. Yeah. So police in this country also, you can anyway, certain things that we discuss or we talk about in our country will hardly happen here. And if it happens here, it's going to be under the table. So it's not going to be openly put on the table.
Exactly.
So we need to get that right. So if FCC is not directly connected, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I need to read that. But whatever agents, Toku, in order to get result, all the agencies, they are intertwined. They are connected. You cannot separate them. For example, police station, from magistrate court. So it varies. So I want to believe that that is not really a major issue. Okay, it's from Alagba. Yeah. Let me quickly finish this one. Let Yoruba nations set for them self. If Yoruba stand together, Yoruba will be a great nation. So let's join our leader. That's fine. I have nothing against. That's also part of what we are discussing. My understanding of what the gentleman is saying, that Yoruba, to a great extent, Yoruba people have made up their mind, and that's why we are campaigning But then what you cannot overlook here is the process. The process and procedure is where we are having problems, and that we need to treat that. Dr. Janet, you wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, as to who prosecute and who doesn't prosecute, I just want to revisit this Naira mutilation, because I went to read about it when this law was being debated in the House in 2006. A lot of the lawmakers were against it. They were saying what we are, some of us are saying today, that spraying of Naira is part of our culture. Even in the north, in the south, even the musicians and everything, it is different from defacing Naira. And they were saying at that time that, just rolling people into jail because you feel, maybe personally, Professor Soludo at the time, who was the CBN, what is it now, director, was the one
Governor, CBN governor.
CBN governor, Professor Soludo at the time, was the CBN governor. Only shaking they should respect Naira, they should respect Nico. And people were telling him, respecting Naira. Oh yeah, they spray Naira. And the way just to put everything in the same basket, which was part of the argument, putting everything in the same basket, you will almost lump everybody into jail based on this, your definition of Naira mutilation or Naira defacing. I mean, àwọn tó ń fi owó fòyàn lórí, how does it devalue the Naira? We should be the same thing. Ṣé wọ́n mú owó yẹn dọ́jà àwọn tó wà lọ́jà? 2006, it was not part of our law before now. That was when they were debating it in the House. And it was a very hot debate at that time. One was like, okay, can she suspend the no? But some ambitious people, one good way of just passing this thing into law. It hasn't been the law of Nigeria before 2006, and I stand corrected. If anybody knows that it was part of it, bring it out and let's examine it. So gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà, mo rò pé irú something tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ni wọ́n máa sọ pé wà á kàn wo ẹnìkan tínú ń bí ẹ sí tó dẹ̀ ní power láti make it law, and you just make it into law. Ó sọ pé tọkọ àtìyàwó bá rìn side by side torí pé wò níyàwó ń tiẹ̀, ó yẹ kán arrest wọn, wọ́n á dẹ̀ gbé sínú law, á dẹ̀ di law.
What did the òfin though?
Ó dẹ̀ ti máa dòfin, wọ́n á dẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní arrest èèyàn sí. Knowing fully well that the common people in Nigeria don't care about that law, don't care about nǹkan tó fẹ́ jẹ lẹ́ni àbọ̀là. So they don't look into that. There are some things tó yẹ káwọn èèyàn ti demonstrate lé lórí pé this kind of kangaroos, this thing should not make it into our law. And that's as far as that is concerned. If people are okay with it, ìgbọ́n bá fi máa gbé bí 20 people sí ẹ̀wọ̀n, àwọn èèyàn á lajú, wọ́n á ríran wípé what they have done is wrong. Pé kán fi owó fòyàn lórí tipẹ́tipẹ́, àwọn oní ìlú gangan, àwọn tó máa ń lọ sílé ọba láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù, ọba máa jí, ó máa spray wọn lówó ni. Ṣé mọ̀ kó ń ṣe nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé a kà sí ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ àní shouldn't be. Bó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n mutilate ẹ̀, mo gbọ́ yẹn kéèyàn mú náírà lọ́wọ́ báyìí kó máa wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa fàyà, that is wrong. Àbí kó mọ̀ dá sílẹ̀ kó wá máa tẹ̀ lórí mọ́lẹ̀ kó lè deface ẹ̀ káwọn èèyàn kó má lè ṣe é náà.
Wọ́n fi hàn ní kí a máa fún yàn lówó. Mo ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀, anybody tó bá fi pay the law, àwọn kan rò bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n rò pé yes, ó jàgínníjàgan àwọn tí wọ́n ń spray owó ní party pé tó ń show well fún ọ, pé òfin ẹ̀ ti Sherry, ẹ jẹ́ kí n kà nǹkan tó, because definition òfin, law is law. Tó bá dẹ̀ definition, kí ló mean by spraying? Kí ni CBN act?
Definition yẹn bóyá yàtọ̀.
Kí ló define as spraying? Okay. Spraying includes adorning, decorating, or spraying anything or any person or any part of any person or the person of another with Naira notes or coins, or sprinkling or sticking of the Naira notes or coins in a similar manner, regardless of the amount. So decorating, spraying, adorning. In other words, Sherry, Timba lo si party ni Naija leni, ti EFCC ode le gbe mi. Ni wípé mo bọ́ sójú agbo, mo yọwọ́ mi síta. Onílù tó àwọn ajú mi, ó ní bag tó gbé sílẹ̀ síwájú àbí tọ́mọ ẹ̀ dìmú, tí mo dẹ̀ fi náírà sínú bag yẹn fún. EFCC kankan lè gbé mi, because kò bá definition spray, màá dẹ̀ náwó lójú agbo bí mo ṣe fẹ́ náà. So ẹ jẹ́ káàyàn kan spraying, Sherry, ibi tó ti, because àwọn tí wọ́n mọ̀ wọ́n sọ pé I also string pé culture bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ and culture and could they stop her from going and give them because she ametaba lo soja te fe ran kan sha ni dawo si ya loja de ni le fun lori so be she hand owó yẹn over fún tó gbà lọ tó sapo tó bá pé gbogbo yẹn constitute spend then at any le transact any business no it doesn't mo le mo lórí mo le mo láṣọ mo le mo ní bag mo le mo that is the definition nínú act yẹn but nǹkan tá ń ṣe ń sìn báyìí ni wí pé when I want to now gift someone money ní ojú agbo the person mo le fi sí ọwọ́ ẹ̀ kí máa kà sí ọwọ́ ẹ̀ ní kọ̀ọ̀kan almost like pé mo káwó sí ìyá ọlọ́jà lọ́wọ́ ni ìyẹn would constitute definition of spraying yes it's okay so àṣì máa fún yàn lówó lójú agbo kò stop ẹ̀ bọ́ pé ká máa spray ká mú hairgun ká máa fọ́n síta báwọn èèyàn kan ṣe máa ṣe tá mọ́ yẹn tá ń dábàá yẹn ìyẹn so demeaning mi tẹ̀ kò mọ́pọ́ lọ́wọ́ fún mi so àṣì máa fún yàn lówó lójú agbo ẹ má worry àkọ́ni máa start ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń ṣe ni àdẹ́ni máa lẹ̀ mọ́ wọn lórí tó máa jábọ́ sílẹ̀ simple as that.
And thank you.
And what motion so apart from pé bóyá wọ́n kọ síbẹ̀ pé ẹ má fowó lẹ́yìn lórí o, how does that affect the value of life?
Well, I mean,
I can imagine that if you are to defend Bobrisky, probably you can argue that before Adajo and the interpretation.
Even with the Bobrisky, tí wọ́n gbé sẹ́wọ̀n, ṣebí wọ́n arrest another person, Cubana àbí kí náà ń pè.
Yeah, Cubana. Yeah,
Cubana is not in jail today. So tell them
Amotekun, you wanted to say something? We have barely a couple of minutes left. A quick one, just 1 minute, please.
Work of every law panel pé ìwo ló wọ̀ ẹni tó spray owó àbẹ́ ẹni tó kówó sínú sọ́kà wí
àbẹ́ ẹni tó jí owó.
But you see, very good question, sir. Very good question.
Of the Nigerian government.
Nigeria wà use pé kó máa ṣe àwọn nǹkan tó wà inconsequential nǹkan tí ò dá gbọ́n lọ́wọ́.
Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú Nàìjíríà. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bú Nàìjíríà. Àwọn adájọ́ tó ń gbé ẹjọ́ léwájú wọn ó ní mo ti sọ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀. The same adájọ́ tó gbà pé ó mọ ọpọlọ wá fún un láti gbé ọ̀gbẹ́ni tá à ń sọ ẹ̀ sẹ́wọ̀n fún oṣù
ọ̀sẹ̀. Àwọn oṣù mẹ́fà torí pé ó ná owó ara ẹ̀.
The same adájọ́ ló wọ́n máa gbé ẹni tó jí nílẹ̀ ìgbàsíwájú ẹ̀ tí ò ní jẹ́ wọn. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa bú Nàìjíríà. Nigeria is not a failed state o, èmi ò gbà bó fail kankan. But individually, ẹbí Yorùbá judge náà tó jẹ́ ọ̀gbẹ́ni tá à ń sọ yìí, ẹbí Yorùbá ni. So tó bá dénú Yorùbá nation náà bó ṣe máa dájọ́ on behalf of àwọn IMIT náà nìyẹn.
Because of time.
Bóyá kó má tà bóyá Yorùbá ni àbí Igbo.
Nǹkan tí mo sọ ni pé ṣe bá ń sọ pé bí a ní Yorùbá ni kí Nàìjíríà tó wà formed ṣé kò sí ẹlẹ́wọ̀n ní Yorùbá là ní ṣé kò sí àwọn tó ń dúró òfin ni. Ṣé kò sí ó wà náà ṣùgbọ́n mo ṣe mẹ́sàn-án lẹ̀ ni pé kamari kọjá àtàbà sí Yorùbá nation kò wá ní sí pé nǹkan yóò fi mọ gbogbo àmà adjacent kò possible.
Ọ̀túnba mo wo fídíò Bobrisky yìí o máàlù àbí bọ́ọ̀yì àbí ṣé gẹ́ẹ̀lì lẹ pé kò kúrò lójú kan o tó fi ń spray owó yìí and I'm still scratching my head.
Doctor, you don't like to defend my
mo lọ wo the 2006 argument yẹn gbà tán gbé kinní yẹn wá sí house and it was a very hot debate. Why will it be a hot debate if it was just something that is so easy? Then you go, okay, wọ́n ti dáwó ṣe. I mean, I know senators like Senator Sanusi Dagash, Senator Daniel Saro, Senator Idris Kuta, Senator Ibrahim Mantu, and a host of other people. Tí wọ́n wà against kini wọ́n yí.
Bó ti dòfin.
Akọ́nà repeal yẹ. Tó fi wọ́n wà nígboro wọ́n máa repeal yẹ.
That will be a secondary discussion. That will be another discussion. Of course, kò sófin tó lè repeal tó bá. All depend on the.
All repeal here because òfin wèrè lẹ́sẹ̀ o ẹ̀yin Nàìjíríà tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ mi òfin wèrè o lẹ́sẹ̀.
Luckily you are is your area of preoccupation. You are too good.
And that's why we have to speak up. We can't say because one teacher so therefore I go embrace here.
It is why minded because on a láti fún yàn lówó wà láì máa fọwọ́ sókè máa dà sílẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ condone ìyẹn pé kọ́ máa
culture is part of what make people happy.
But culture is transient as well.
Nǹkan burúkú síta èyí tó tún máa máwò èèyàn láyọ̀ ẹ tún sọ ó dá èrò ẹ̀wọ̀n.
láti máa fúnyàn lówó ẹ má jẹ́ kí yẹn sọ pé tí n bá ń ṣe pátí mà tí máa pè yẹn má sọ pé torí yẹn ni fún mi lówó.
Láfà owó tí mo bá fún yín ara èrè yín ni owó tí mo bá tún fi spray yín on top of the envelope tí mo ti fún yín.
Ṣé olóyè can spray ni? Olóyè can spray ni.
It's part of what makes it joyful.
Irú èmi sìn I'm against
I'm fully in support of it because mi ò rí bó ṣe mutilate dọ́là. Àmì náírà bí ò ríbi tó gbà mutilate bí ò dẹ̀ ríbi tó gbà devalue pé èèyàn spray èèyàn ẹni yẹn gbowó yẹn. So long will
in a different way.
We can play in a different way.
In a different way, yes. Be a bit of distance between framework.
Sorry, I need to. Unfortunately, we come to the end of the show. I want to thank you. There's not enough time to receive any call, and people are not trying to call any. I mean, my every Friday show is my pleasure. I feel honored, and I want to thank you for leaving the last 90 minutes to come and go contribute to the Otumba Who latest. And again, like I said, I've read out some selective comments, which I think we can. Every other one was compliment, and I going to contribute, send in your comments. We all highly appreciated. So again, this program can still be watched. All you need is just click on the invite. Any another 1 year or 2 years, you can see. It's still, you don't need to get another invite. It's the same one. Click on it, you automatically can see the show again. Thank you very much. Alàgbà Amotekun, I want to appreciate you giving me the 90 minutes. Otumba Eric, former General Secretary of Afenifere, we have been able to get a couple of information from you. At least now we know that Afenifere has always been a social, political something. It's not really into Yoruba must go, Yoruba must stand, whatever. And that was very interesting. Dr. Janet, as usual, a regular in the house, I want to appreciate you and
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me your time. As a very busy barrister or attorney, the last 90 minutes could have fetched you some money if you had.
So I work and no play.
So I do appreciate that. And Arakuni, leaving also the family the last 90 minutes.
Otumba, somebody said it's been calling and you are not answering. One John Ogunin, Lola, I don't know if you.
No, if any call comes, I'm sorry, there must have been a network problem because if any call comes in, automatically everybody will hear because the call is connected to. I'm sorry, but yeah, there must have been a problem there. I'm sorry, the caller. Maybe hopefully next time around there might be no caller because they were called. I don't know the system. That's how it's structured. So finally, Arakuni, thank you very much. I want to appreciate you also for giving me. I hope by next time I call you, so okay. So I appreciate you.
If the money is right,
so viewers, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
It's been a pleasure to be here.
I'm signing off. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
God bless you.
Somebody said Alàgbà Amotekun will recognize you again. So what did you do?
Amotekun is also a multi in all respect.
Multi-dimensional.
If you want to say in money, in knowledge, in everything, is multi everything. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having us.
A nice weekend.